Keyshawn mentality was like, fuck me. Like, it was like, he don't give a fuck. Like, like fuck you, nigga, let's fight. Like, like and it kind of like, he couldn't really, he was trying to capitalize. He couldn't really like do too much at that time because I was bigger, older.
Shakur Stevenson has reportedly confronted Keyshawn Davis in the most explosive way imaginable, and the fallout between these former training partners has the entire boxing world absolutely stunned. The lightweight champion didn't just let it slide when he caught wind of what Keyshawn had to say about Terrence Crawford and Bo Mack. Sources close to the situation suggest Shakur literally pulled up on Keyshawn to address the perceived disrespect face to face. According to multiple insiders who claim to have witnessed the heated exchange, Shakur got right in Keyshawn's personal space, making it crystal clear that speaking down on Crawford and his legendary trainer was crossing a line that simply couldn't be uncrossed.
Is it trouble in Call of Duty Paradise? Is it trouble? Lord child. Keyshawn Davis.
Top Rank was always going to wedge something between them two, and I seen it once they start feeding them the...
Reports suggest the confrontation took place during a recent training session where both fighters were present. Shakur allegedly told Keyshawn something along the lines of, "You can say whatever you want about the fight game, but don't you ever disrespect Bud or Bomac." He reportedly emphasized, "That's family, and I don't play about family." The alleged incident has already gained massive traction across social media, with fans sharply divided over whether Shakur was right to check his former friend, or if Keyshawn's comments were being blown entirely out of proportion. However, the full story of what Keyshawn allegedly said to spark this confrontation is even more shocking than anyone initially realized. But before we dive into the specific comments that allegedly set Shakur off, we have to understand that the history between these fighters makes this situation infinitely more complicated and dramatic.
We always knew, like, when we go in gyms, Keyshawn was with me every day. We used to go in gyms and beat everybody up, like, beat this guy up, beat this, no matter who it was, from like the best guys to, we beat them all up. And we always knew that we was gonna be in a situation one day where the world would want to see us fight. Like, we was gonna be.
Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis have been close friends and training partners for years. Both came up under the guidance of Bo Mack, training alongside Terrence "Bud" Crawford in Omaha. The two undefeated fighters were viewed as brothers in the sport, constantly supporting each other publicly and pushing one another in the gym to become elite boxers. Sources suggest they spent countless hours sparring together, traveling to fights together, and building what everyone assumed was an unbreakable bond within the boxing world.
Congrats on the world title. We all want to see that Shakur unification. Come on, man. Pave your own path. You already got two blood brothers.
Nah, I'm not fighting Shakur, bro. Y'all already know why I'm not fighting Shakur. I'm not gonna keep going down that road. Try to fight Tank.
One former training partner allegedly stated, Shakur and Keyshawn were inseparable for years. They called each other brothers all the time. Seeing them beefing like this is wild because nobody saw it coming. This makes the alleged confrontation even shocking because these weren't just casual acquaintances or distant colleagues. These were fighters who genuinely considered each other family.
I know you seen one half of the COD brothers in his feelings on Twitter.
Is it trouble in Call of Duty Paradise? Is it trouble? Lord child. Keyshawn Davis.
Top Rank was always going to wedge something between them two, and I seen it once they start feeding them the...
Many boxing analysts believe the tension started building when Keyshawn made the controversial decision to leave Bomac's camp recently, a move that reportedly didn't sit well with Shakur. The boxing community was already buzzing about Keyshawn's split from Brian McIntyre's training stable, with many questioning why he would leave such a successful setup. According to sources familiar with the situation, Keyshawn allegedly made some comments during interviews that Shakur interpreted as blatant disrespect toward the camp that helped build both of their careers.
I was trying to capitalize. He couldn't really like do too much at that time because I was bigger, older. But it still was like, okay,
Yeah.
I know this nigga a dog. Like I know with the right push, he gonna be where he's supposed to be.
I definitely feel like under Bomac, he been, flourishing and looking a lot better. Niggas want to see that fight. I'm gonna keep asking Bomac.
One insider who requested anonymity reportedly shared, Keyshawn was talking about how he needed to make changes and how the old setup wasn't working for him anymore. Shakur took that personally because Bomac is like a father figure to him. These alleged comments have taken on a life of their own in boxing circles, with different versions of what Keyshawn actually said circulating on social media and in gym gossip. Many believe Keyshawn's statements about needing a fresh start were simply about his own career evolution, but Shakur allegedly saw them as a direct attack on the people he loves. Sources suggest there was a specific interview where Keyshawn allegedly said something that really crossed the line in Shakur's eyes, leading directly to the confrontation. According to people who claim to have seen the interview footage, Keyshawn allegedly made comments suggesting that Terrence Crawford and Bomac weren't giving him the attention he deserved as a rising star.
I think Keyshawn is more Earl Spence than Jermell Charlo. I think push come to shove, he will fight Shakur. He's with Bomac and them. They've already been there with Jamel Herring. They know they got, no disrespect to Jamel, but a more talented fighter this time around. They have that experience of Keyshawn being in the ring with him. And it's obvious, like it don't matter the age.
One source close to Shakur's camp reportedly stated, Keyshawn was basically saying that Bud gets all the attention and he felt like he was being pushed to the side. He was complaining about not getting enough focus from Bomac during training camps. These alleged complaints apparently infuriated Shakur, who has always been fiercely loyal to Crawford and defensive of Bomac's reputation as one of the best trainers in the game. Shakur allegedly felt that Keyshawn was being ungrateful and disrespectful to the very people who helped him develop into the fighter he is today. However, supporters of Keyshawn have been quick to defend his position, pointing out that every fighter has the right to make decisions about their own career without being attacked. One fan allegedly tweeted, Keyshawn has every right to leave Bomac's camp if he feels like he needs something different. That's not disrespect, that's business. Another wrote with frustration, Shakur needs to mind his business. Just because he's loyal to Bomac doesn't mean Keyshawn has to stay there forever. This is boxing, not a cult.
You're in a great division. When you talk about the lightweight division at 135, I mean, you got Shakur, your homie, you got Gervonta, you got Isak Cruz, Devin Haney. And I read where you said, I'm ready for a world title shot now. Do you believe that, though? That Keyshawn Davis is ready to step into the ring with one of those guys and fight for a world title?
However, those close to Shakur argue that it wasn't just about Keyshawn leaving. It was about how he allegedly spoke about Crawford and Bomac after making that decision. One person familiar with Shakur's thinking allegedly shared, if Keyshawn had just quietly moved camps and said nothing, nobody would care. But he was out here doing interviews talking slick about Bud and Bomac. That's what sets Shakur off. This division among fans perfectly captures the complexity of this situation. There are legitimate arguments on both sides of this conflict. The alleged confrontation reportedly happened at a gym where both fighters happened to be training on the same day, creating the perfect storm for drama. According to sources who claim to have been present, Shakur walked into the facility and immediately spotted Keyshawn working out with his new training team. The atmosphere allegedly became tense immediately, with people in the gym sensing that something was about to go down between the former friends.
Let's make it about Keyshawn. If Keyshawn is fighting Shakur, does that ever happen? Or are you guys just never gonna fight no matter what?
We never gonna fight.
And why is that? Let me just go there for a second.
Like, we grew up together. We brothers for sure.
One witness, who requested anonymity, reportedly described the scene, Shakur came in hot. You could tell he was upset about something.
He didn't even warm up or anything. He just walked straight over to where Keyshawn was. These alleged eyewitness accounts paint a picture of Shakur being determined to address the situation directly, rather than letting it fester or play out on social media. Sources suggest that Shakur got right in Keyshawn's face and demanded to know why he was talking about Crawford and Bomac in interviews. According to people familiar with the exchange, Shakur allegedly said something like, "You got something to say about Bud? Say it to my face right now. You got problems with Bomac? Let's talk about it like men instead of you running your mouth in interviews." This alleged confrontation reportedly caught Keyshawn completely off guard, as he apparently wasn't expecting Shakur to approach him so aggressively about the comments.
Now let's talk, man. You know I've been saying this for a while, and I know this question keep on running across Keyshawn Davis, but is it time yet?
What, for him and Kerr?
Is it time yet?
I'm gonna say this. You know, I was with you on agreeance, right? But then
One source close to the situation stated Keyshawn tried to explain himself, but Shakur wasn't trying to hear it. He was fired up and ready to handle business right there in the gym. The tension allegedly escalated to the point where other fighters and trainers had to step in to prevent the situation from turning physical. However, supporters of Keyshawn tell a completely different version of events, suggesting that Shakur was the one being overly aggressive and confrontational. One person allegedly connected to Keyshawn's new camp stated, Keyshawn wasn't disrespecting anybody, he was just being honest about his career decisions. Shakur came in there trying to intimidate him because he can't handle the truth. This conflicting narrative has only added more fuel to the fire, with fans debating whose version of events is more accurate. Some boxing analysts believe this entire situation stems from jealousy and competition between two elite fighters who are both trying to establish themselves as the future of the lightweight division. One prominent boxing commentator allegedly stated, "This isn't really about Terence Crawford or Bomac. This is about Shakur and Keyshawn both knowing they might have to fight each other eventually, and neither one wants to back down." This perspective adds an interesting layer to the drama. Perhaps the real issue is that these former friends are now potential future opponents competing for the same opportunities. Many believe that Shakur saw Keyshawn's comments as an opportunity to establish dominance and send a message that he won't tolerate any perceived disrespect. The timing of this alleged confrontation is particularly interesting, given that both fighters are scheduled to compete on the same card on January 31st at Madison Square Garden. Shakur Stevenson is facing Teofimo Lopez in the main event, while Keyshawn Davis is fighting Jermaine Ortiz on the undercard, creating a situation where tensions will be sky high. Sources suggest that promoters are now concerned about potential backstage drama on fight night, especially if both fighters win their respective bouts.
Realizes about Shakur, the mentality that I have, Shakur has it. Mine is just louder. But when you in the ring with Shakur, he's a mean fighter, bro. Like, for real. Like, take it from me. You know what I'm saying?
One insider allegedly familiar with the event planning stated security is being told to keep these guys separated backstage. Nobody wants a repeat of what happened at the gym, especially not on live television. This added security concern shows just how serious this beef has become and how worried people are about things escalating further. The alleged confrontation has also put Terence Crawford in an awkward position, as both fighters are close to him and he's being asked to take sides. Crawford has publicly stated that both Shakur and Keyshawn are his brothers, and he doesn't want to get involved in their personal issues. However, sources close to Terence suggest he's privately upset that his name is being dragged into drama between two fighters he cares about deeply.
He did something dirty in the ring, and then Keyshawn responded and did something dirty back, which fighters do. When he did that, his father jumped in the ring. When his father jumped in the ring, Cade jumped in the ring too, and they kind of was getting in I don't even know what you even call.
One person familiar with Crawford's thinking allegedly shared, Bud is frustrated because he never asked to be in the middle of this. He loves both of those guys, and he wishes they could work it out without bringing his name into it. This reluctance from Crawford to pick a side has only made things more complicated, as both Shakur and Keyshawn apparently want his public support. Meanwhile, Bomac has remained completely silent on the entire situation, refusing to comment publicly about Keyshawn leaving his camp or the alleged confrontation with Shakur. This silence from the legendary trainer speaks volumes and has led to even more speculation about what really happened behind closed doors. Some believe the silence means he's upset with Keyshawn, but doesn't want to publicly bash a fighter he helped develop.
You know what, Keyshawn?
I knew Keyshawn since he was 13.
And I seen something on IG, man. I see y'all playing with the fans and stuff, doing the face-off, bro. Just track with me for a second. You the WBC lightweight champ. He getting ready to fight Baranchik for the WBO, right?
Yep.
I know y'all saying y'all ain't gonna ever fight. I can't see it happening now, but like, you mean to tell